Hello and welcome back to the Building Your Life After Traumatic Brain Injury channel here on YouTube. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to watch this presentation. Thank you. In today's video presentation, I'm going to be sharing an article concerning brain injury and the COVID-19 virus and how both of these affect our feelings of isolation and alienation from both ourselves and other people. To read the article, I'll put my glasses on and bring up the article. I want to thank you for your time. Here's the article. Living with a brain injury, the COVID-19 virus, and feelings of isolation. Living with a brain injury can leave us feeling isolated and alienated. Isolated and alienated from ourselves and other people. The impact of the COVID-19 virus intensify these feelings of isolation and alienation as we are cut off from other people. Recently, I was asked a question in a comment on our Building Your Life After Traumatic Brain Injury Facebook community page. The question in the comments surrounded an individual who was feeling isolated, alienated, and talking about suicide. The individual asked if I had any suggestions to give to the individual who was feeling isolated, alienated, and talking about suicide. Article that helped me. In May 2007, I wrote and published an article. In the article, I shared what helped me to find the freedom to discover and be myself, what helped me to find the freedom to come out of hiding, what helped me to find the freedom from feelings of self-alienation and self-reproach. Below is an excerpt and a revision of the article. The information may help you to not feel isolated and alienated from yourself and other people. These are the 3 rules. Don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel. I believe that the title of this article, Don't Talk, Don't Trust, and Don't Feel, sums up a theme that wreaks havoc in the lives of many people with brain injuries. 2. These 3 rules mandated that I adhere to them without question. In the process, I had to discard parts of myself on a regular basis in order to avoid negative repercussions. In the process of maintaining these 3 rules, don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel, my creative uniqueness shriveled and my energy died. These 3 rules kept me isolated, believing that I was a victim of my circumstances, appeared to protect me at the time. Although these 3 rules appeared to protect me at the time, they entrapped me in a web of deception. These rules kept me bound because they alienated me from a loving God, from others, and from myself. Obeying the 3 rules kept me stuck in the shadows of isolation. The 3 rules fed my denial and the denial of family members and friends. These 3 rules undermined my ability to trust myself. These 3 rules kept me focused on matters that were out of my control, not just cliches. When I began attending support group meetings in August of 1986, I heard these 3 rules discussed by the people attending the meetings. At first, these statements sounded like cliches. As I continued to attend these meetings and listen, I started to understand that these 3 rules laid the foundation and perpetuated many dysfunctional behaviors and beliefs. When I first heard these 3 rules discussed, I felt isolated, or I was isolated, afraid of being rejected, and frozen in my emotions. I had no idea what I felt beyond being glad or angry, getting in my way. Through attending meetings and becoming involved in my own recovery process, I was able to understand how these rules had gotten in my way for many years. As I listened to what people shared in meetings, I found the courage to begin to break the 3 rules. What I discovered about the 3 rules. The 3 rules are often used to mask reality. These rules give way to a state of helplessness. When helplessness becomes a learned behavior, individuals are led to believe that they are trapped by their circumstances. Instead of seeking to learn and grow from their circumstances, being a victim becomes an alternative way of living. Unconsciously, living is reduced to a series of events to be endured and hopefully survived each day. Drama replaces a passion for living. Drama becomes the way to feel alive. Rather than seeking to be empowered, individuals are led to believe that their success is measured by their ability to survive what happens in their lives. Instead of learning to thrive in life, individuals are led to believe that this is the best that it is going to be. Circumstances are not adversaries. Instead of seeing their circumstances as a portal to possibilities, they are led to believe that their circumstances are adversaries. As adversaries given to them to hinder and undermine their ability to reach their dreams and experience hope in their lives. Not only does this belief undermine the creative capacity of the individual, it perpetuates a fear of failure and a cynical outlook on life. Circumstances and opportunities are equally revered as a nemesis to be reckoned with on a daily basis. Living is subsequently reduced to merely clocking in and clocking out each day as a disgruntled employee, hoping that the minutes and the hours pass by with increasing speed. Instead of seeing circumstances as opportunities, circumstances are seen as getting in the way. Excuse me. The impact of these three rules on my life. I spent a large part of my life running as fast as I could to avoid having to talk, trust, or feel. I didn't know how to do any of them. I viewed life as a dress rehearsal to be lived later, but later never seemed to come for me. Through maintaining the belief that I could do nothing more than survive what was doled out to me, I became a resident reactor. I found myself jumping like a cat on a hot tin roof. Sure, I trusted God with my life, but I saw the actual living as part of a battlefield. I felt like a soldier who found himself in a foxhole attempting to protect himself from every direction. This way of life drained and depleted me spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Because I did not know any better, I continued to look in this way of thinking and relating to life, other people, and myself until I reached the bottom. Because I did not know any better, I continued in this way of thinking and relating to life, other people, and myself until I reached the bottom. I reached an emotional bottom when a relationship ended. The disappointment from the breakup changed my life. The emotional pain proved to be a catalyst that motivated me to seek solutions. I began to break the three rules: don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel. I started attending support group meetings where I listened to other people break the three rules by talking, trusting, and by sharing what they felt. With time, I felt safe and began to process what I thought and felt. As I did, people listened and told me to keep coming back. As I shared my pain, they listened without judgment. As I continued to feel safe, I slowly began to share more of myself, learn to trust and understand what I was actually feeling. As I continued to share my outlook, my life changed. As I continued to share, my outlook on life changed. build me up or build up my life. Excuse me. I began to see my circumstances in a different way. I began to see my circumstances as a way to build me up, as a way to teach me lessons that prepare me to take advantage of opportunities. I began to see my circumstances as a way to come out of hiding. I began to see my circumstances as a way to create hope in my life. I began to see my circumstances as a way to discover and follow my dreams. I began to see my circumstances as guides to my destiny. I began to see my circumstances as a way to have a relationship with my process, a loving God, and myself. I began to see my circumstances as a way to have a relationship with other people. I began to see my circumstances as a way to discover myself. I began to see my circumstances as a way to express my creativity. Encouragement and invitation. In the event that what I shared above sounds familiar, I would encourage you to explore finding a safe place where you can process your thoughts, your feelings, and learn to trust, where you can feel safe to come out of hiding, where you can find freedom from feelings of alienation, where you can take a look to see how these three rules, don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel, may be affecting and impacting your quality of life. This is the end of the video presentation of the article. I want to thank you for your time. Before I go, let me encourage you with something that I too need to remember. Please do not give up on your process, a loving God, or yourself, because more will be revealed to you and to me with time. The pieces of the puzzle will come together in the correct order and at the right time. I'll say so long for now. Have a great day, and God bless both you and your family. So long now.